Hi fantasy managers, welcome to FPL Team Talk. In this video I'm going to go through my team selection for game week 14. I'm going to have a quick review how I got on in 13. We're going to look at some of the transfers, one I've made already and other possible moves I could make before the deadline. And there's a few decisions I'm considering around the captaincy as well. So as always, if you enjoy these sort of videos, please give it a like. Don't forget to subscribe. And in the meantime, let's take a look. Let's have a quick review of game week 13, and it was a low scoring week. It wasn't an absolute classic by any means. I came out with a small red arrow. I got 46 points. One saving grace, maybe I can say, is that captaincy wise it was pretty tight, but I was quite pleased that I ended up getting putting it on Saka. He got a late return, picked up the bonus points, so that was nice. Bowen didn't play, so that was a bit frustrating, and Gabriel picked up the clean sheet. But other than that, with the returns from Watkins was nice. His yellow card was a bit frustrating at the end because it could cost him bonus points as well. But you know what, he picked up a goal away at Tottenham, so I was pretty happy with that moving forward. Bowen is a concern for me though at the moment. So moving into game week 14, I've gone down to 605k, got two transfers, and I do have 2 million in the bank because my transfer from the last game was really just downgrading Nketiah down to Mbamu just to make money, because I didn't feel there was any real obvious benefits to making moves elsewhere, which I feel was pretty justified. So I've given myself quite a bit of room for manoeuvre. I don't mind the side moving forward. It looks pretty good. The other thing that was concerning, I suppose, this week as well was Cash coming off early. He got the yellow card. Can understand why he's hooked. He has been rested since then in Europe, so I'm hoping that he's just going to be fine to start the next game at Bournemouth, and I don't mind holding him for that game. But after that, I have two very difficult home games against City and Arsenal, and I'm not really going to want to play him in there, and that's a lot of money to sit on my bench, so he's definitely a player I want to get rid of. And Diaby scored in Europe, which was great, but he was hooked at half-time as well, and Bailey looked quite good, and Villa improved in that second half. So he is a bit of a concern. He just didn't look good at all in that first half against Tottenham, and he had a couple of decent opportunities or situations where he just didn't work out. He just didn't look on it. So I am considered worried about him, but the plan was always to move off of him for this game week and go to Brian Mbeumo, and I have done that already. Normally I wouldn't make any transfers that early in the week, but he was going to go up in price from 6.9 to 7 on the Sunday night, and I just thought, no, it was Monday night, so I actually thought, there's no European games for Brentford. I'm prepared to take the risk that something will happen during the week. He's just an absolute player that I have no hesitation. I'd absolutely want to get him in, always have done. So playing every minute of every game, great fixtures, and he comes in. So Diaby's dropped out and Mbeumo has come in, and this is how the side would then set up for game week 14. Bowen is still a concern, and that is a worry, I have to say. Didn't take part in Europe. I'm just going to have to wait and see what Moyes information we get from Moyes. If I don't get anything concrete, I think I'm just going to play him. I don't think if he's fit enough, he will just start. I don't think he'll come off the bench, but we'll have to wait and see. There's no other obvious choice. I could play Adingra away at Chelsea. Not a huge fan of that. And Gehi away at West Ham either. Don't see a clean sheet for Palace there either. So I could. But I do have at least some playing people on the bench to take Bowen's place if it's necessary. Captaincy-wise, I'm looking at Salah at home to Fulham. I could go Haaland. But I'm so tempted to go and Brian Mbeumo. If I back the stats, Luton's stats away from home in particular season have just been terrible. They are the worst side defensively away from home in the division. Their expected goals against is bottom, and they are 7 worse goals than the nearest side to them. Now, Brentford's expected goals at home isn't the worst, isn't the best. They're lying about 7th at home, but I can absolutely see 2 or 3 goals for Brentford in that game against Luton. And if that happens, and Mbeumo's going to be on the pitch, he's going to be playing very high up the pitch, he's on pens, will he get returns? I just feel like it's absolutely, his stats are so good, there's a really good chance. Having said that, is there a good chance Salah and Haaland will? Probably. So is it worth taking a risk? I do like Mbeumo, and I just think at home to Fulham is just such a good fixture. I almost wish Salah and Haaland didn't have such good fixtures and weren't at home either, and then I could take Mbeumo. I didn't have to have such a worry about Mbeumo, but I am tempted. I think maybe I'm boosted by the confidence that Saka sort of helped me through the captaincy last week, and I didn't go for Salah and Haaland, so I've avoided being stung by not captaining Salah and Haaland. Do I get away with it again? So at the moment, I reserve the right to change my mind, but I'm very tempted with Mbeumo. So I do have 2 free transfers, as you said. The team value is actually gone up to 102, which is great. Matty Cash is on the cusp of going down, and this is how the side will look moving forward. So I wouldn't mind rolling an extra transfer. The thing with Bowen is, his fixtures long term are pretty good. The following week, if he's not going to make this week, the following week's not great either away at Tottenham. You could argue that Bowen is actually very good away from home. I think he scored in every game he's played from away from home. So I could make an argument about that. Personally, I still don't think I'd like to rely on that. So Bowen could come out if he's going to miss next week. But there's no one obvious, I think, for this week that I'd like to bring him in for. Next week, I could look just holding Bowen, benching him, and then maybe taking Cash out. I could move to someone else, maybe like a Colwill or something like that as a Chelsea defender, but I will look at that near the time. The other option is to take Watkins out, because he has horrible fixtures at home to Man City and Arsenal. But I actually don't mind that. I think Watkins can get returns. Villa have scored something like 3 goals per game in all their home games this season. Granted, it's not against some of the better sides, but will Villa score against Man City and Arsenal? I think there's a really good chance they will. They're a very attacking, fluid side, and I think Watkins is going to be at the heart of that. 90 minutes, he's guaranteed to play. So I am tempted just to play him through, and then the bonus of that is in GameWeek 18 when Man City and Brentford were blank, he has a very good fixture at home to Sheffield United that I could captain him in. So that's one choice. I could as well do the same for Cash and hold him through for that fixture. Feels like a lot of money to have on the bench though. So Cash to someone else could definitely be an option. The other one was I quite like the idea in GameWeek 15 as well of looking at Wolves. Hwang has got decent fixtures at home to Burnley and at home to Forest. Chelsea's fixtures, as we've seen, really start to look good in GameWeek 16. So could I start to move off of a Dingra and someone like that? Wouldn't mind going to Son, but I don't think I'd like to take Saka off. And by this point as well, looking at this side, I don't really want to be playing Guehi at home to Liverpool. But Cash would possibly have moved out with that, because I would have had to have made another transfer before this deadline. So I'd have had 2 to make, including GameWeek 16. As well, looking further down the line, Tsimikas can't survive in this side forever because Robertson will come back. So I've got 1 or 2 options, or 1 or 2 things I've just got to consider. But we will consider these things nearer the time. But a lot of the current plans just evolve around Bowen. And do I captain Mbeumo? That's it for this one then, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Let me know in the comments below who your captain's armband is going on. Do you think it's a crazy idea to put it on Mbeumo? And what other transfer moves are you thinking of making? If I don't speak to you beforehand, have a great game week 14, and then tune in next week. We'll have transfer watch list, we'll have a team selection, all that good stuff. So take care, good luck, and I shall see you on the other side.